guys. Today you get a special treat. I'm bringing on a special guest to the channel, Ibex.
Hi.
You probably have heard me talk about her because we hiked almost the entire Appalachian Trail together in 2018. So I figured since I talk about her so much, it was high time you got to meet her. So here she is.
Here I am.
I'm going to ask her some questions about her experience hiking the AT, and then she's also getting ready, as we're filming this, to do a thru-hike southbound of the Pacific Crest Trail. So I figured we could talk a little bit about that as well. And by the way, guess where we are right now? Ibex, where are we?
We're on the AT.
Woo! Having a little reunion on the AT. We're doing a little section hike from Virginia to Tennessee. Southbound. Which we're kind of loyal to like northbounders since we were northbounders. But it's kind of interesting seeing things backwards. Mm-hmm. Everything looks different. It doesn't look the way I remember it.
And you get to cross paths with all the thru-hikers going northbound right now, which is really cool.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Which is what she's going to end up doing on the PCT since she's going to be going southbound.
No, I'm excited for it.
I'm sure it'll be great, except I won't be there, so can't be that great.
Your choice, man. You're invited.
By the way, did you wear this melly because you wanted to match me?
Did you wear that, Melly, because you wanted to match me?
I live in Colorado, though.
The only reason I know about Melly's is because of you, so here we are.
I'm a trendsetter.
And I got the lottery and you didn't.
I know. I feel like Melanzana hates me. I never win their lotteries to, like, buy their products, but I guess it's whatever. Anyway, let's get into the questions. Okay, Ibex. Mm-hmm. Let's see. What was your favorite section of the whole AT?
I mean, the obvious answer, Maine. Just the whole state.
The entire state.
Southern Maine was definitely really hard, and at that point, my body was like, why are we still doing this? Like, please stop. So it was hard, but it was beautiful, and it also felt like an obstacle course at times, which was really fun. But then the whole rest of Maine, I mean, we just got so lucky. We had amazing weather. We had only 2 days of rain the entire time. We were on good schedule, so we were able to just slow down and enjoy it and take it in and swim in all the lakes.
Maine. Oh, all the swimming ups.
And then, like, the 100-mile wilderness was just so cool. And then, obviously, Katahdin, like, you couldn't ask for a better way to finish that trek, so.
Well, we were sucked in at Katahdin, so we could have asked for a sunny, non-sucked day.
I guess. Maine, disappointing. But our hike up there was still clear. And we had this, like, beautiful sunrise happening. And then, like, just as we get to the top, the clouds come over. I was like, all right, whatever.
Yeah. The AT does what the AT wants to do.
Yeah. But, Maine, yeah, just
Wait,
chef's kiss.
So you mentioned Southern Maine being really hard for you. Mm-hmm. Would you consider that the hardest part?
It probably is, but really the hardest part, I think, feels like Georgia in my memory because Georgia is hard.
Georgia was so hard. No one talks about how hard Georgia is.
And it's also, you're just starting out, so obviously you still need to get your trail legs, and it's just constant ups and downs. You're up above like 4,000 feet a lot of time. You're in the mountains. And it's freaking freezing,
It's
too.
freezing. So. No one talks about that either. Like, you think Georgia, it's way down south, you start in the spring. No, it's freaking freezing.
Yeah, so that's probably really the hardest part. But other than that, yeah, Southern Maine, it's probably the hardest and, like, most technical, I guess, part of trail. Yeah.
I disagree, though. I actually think the White Mountains of New Hampshire were the hardest part of the trail.
Yeah, so they were not as hard to me, I thought, as they were made out to be. I think I was just really well fueled by so much food from those AMC huts. Like, we ended up getting a lot of good hot meals.
Saved my life.
Yeah, it definitely saves. And then it's also the first time you get to see that kind of landscape, and it's so open and epic and above tree line, and that just gave me the energy. Even though there was that couple of days they were really hungover. That was really hard.
Us? What?
Oh, yeah,
no.
Never mind. Us as in me and head chef. Never mind. So that was hard. But yeah, no, the rest of the ways, I don't know. I was just like into it. It was fun.
Yeah, okay. So what was your least favorite part of the trail?
Easy, also, Pennsylvania. Not for the reason you may think. The rocks, yeah, but there's rocks on so many stretches of trail.
If you guys don't know, they often call Pennsylvania Rocksylvania because there are so many rocks. The
But,
trail's
like,
very rocky.
There's just rocks everywhere. It's whatever. I didn't like Pennsylvania because it was super hot when we went through there.
So hot.
It was super dry at pretty much, in my memory anyway, every campsite or shelter you had to go down this steep 0.2 or 0.3 to get any little sprinkling of water, and then climb back up that with all your full water bags and whatnot. And then, like, the views, I mean, you get so spoiled on the trail with just beautiful views. And in Pennsylvania, every view seemed to have some kind of, like, factory in it, or
There's
just
a lot
some
of industry in
yeah,
Pennsylvania.
industrial thing. There was weird, loud banging sounds.
A lot
we
of
could
banging
hear.
noises. We weren't sure what they were.
Yeah.
Orange streams. You
Weird
remember those?
orange, toxic-looking water. Yeah, it was just kind of not my favorite.
Yeah, I kind of liked Pennsylvania just because it was super different. There was a lot of wildlife.
Mhm.
It, aside from all the industry, it felt very wildernessy to me. But for some of those same reasons, New York was my least favorite.
I liked New York. I disagree. New York was when things started getting hard again, and for the first time I had sore legs again. And I liked all the kind of obstacles going through the rocks and over the rocks and all the stone stairs and deli blazing. How could you not like New York? Deli blazing.
That was my favorite part of New York. There are tons of delis like right near the trail or like 0.1 off the trail in New York that you can go like fuel up at. It's amazing.
Yeah, so yum. But it was also very hot going through New York as well, so that was maybe part of it.
Yeah, no, it was super hot and it was super dry. Same thing, all the creeks were dry, like just completely like dry creek beds. It was wild.
Thank goodness for the trail angels along that area doing water caches.
Thank you, Trail Angels, if anyone is watching. Okay, let's see. What was your longest day on trail?
Like miles-wise?
Yeah, miles-wise.
Oh, not as long as yours. My longest day was only 25 miles because I just really didn't like doing over 20-mile days.
You get tired.
I just got fed up with it. And I like to get into camp when there's kind of still enough time to set up and still light out and kind of sprawl out and enjoy myself and make my dinner slowly and all that. So I didn't like doing really long days where I would get into camp late or anything like that and pushing miles. I just wanted to enjoy myself out there, and I think I did a good job.
Yeah, it can be rough getting in after dark. I agree.
Yeah, it was in Massachusetts, though, and it was a pretty decent section, and I remember thinking, wow, that wasn't so bad for 25 miles, and I made it in good time. I did still get to camp when it was light out, so that was nice.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see. Favorite trail town?
Oh, that's tough. I mean, the towns down south are so good because it's like such a community. There's the most hikers still at that point going through, and they really cater to you.
The communities are so nice to hikers. They take such good care of us.
Yeah. So like one of those, like Franklin, and you've got all the breweries down south that are so good, and sometimes breweries let you camp at them. I don't think that was till Virginia. But
a lot of breweries in Virginia let you camp at them. It's awesome, like on their grounds.
Yeah. But yeah, somewhere like Franklin, or I will say, not that it was like the greatest town, but I just remember it for our greatest 0 day in Daleville, which is in Virginia, and also had a brewery that we went to. It was just a very successful 0 day. Like, we didn't need to walk around too much at all. Like, everything was kind of conveniently located. We got an Uber to that brewery, had good food, good beers. But then also I really
what about the most important part of Daleville, the Daleville 0?
Oh, the Super 8 with the pool. And good weather, so we could lay by the pool.
Huge
outside.
outdoor pool at the Super 8. Amazing.
Amazing. But I also really like some of the towns in Vermont, right? I want to say Bennington was great.
Bennington was great.
Obviously,
super cute.
Rutland. Overall, Rutland's kind of like meh, but the Yellow Deli, delicious food.
Really interesting cult experience.
Yes. And what was that other place? Like the Hop and Moose or something? Really good pizza and beers and stuff, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that
was
was
right
great.
next door to the Yellow Deli, practically. So, yeah, some of those towns stick out as well.
Nice. Okay, if you could offer any piece of advice to future AT hikers, what would you say?
I mean, at the end of the day, it's a personal what your priorities are, but for me personally, I really liked to just like be able to enjoy myself on this hike and to have that like slow down in Maine and really take it in and not rush to the end and not finish it. Because even if you think you want to rush to the end, sometimes afterwards then you're like, oh, it's done, and you're just reminiscing about it and you're like, why am I not still there? So I think take your time, and also especially in the beginning, like don't push yourself too hard and do those huge miles, because you see a lot of injuries and people getting off like early on because they did that. Yeah, that'd probably be it. Slow down, people!
Yeah, that's great advice. That's great advice. Like, you only get to do it once. Well, most people only get to do it once. Yeah. We're going to do it again someday.
We're definitely doing it, especially after being out here right now. Oh, it's all I want to do.
It feels like just being back in the middle of it. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
This trail is the greatest.
It's the best.
Okay, so let's switch gears. You are about to embark on a southbound PCT hike. Mm-hmm. How excited are you for that?
So excited. I've been waiting so long. Ever since I got off the AT, I obviously wanted to do the PCT next, and we were supposed to do it northbound last year, and then 2020 happened, and obviously that didn't happen. So now it's just felt like this long time coming. It's all I've been thinking about. It's all I've been prepping for, and it's so exciting that it's finally really gonna happen.
That's amazing. Although you should be waiting for me.
Again, this is your choice.
So when is your start date?
June 16th, which is super. So the first day they give permits is June 15th, and we just like couldn't hold out any longer. So we're like, let's get early permits. And we're also going, it's my boyfriend and I and 2 other former tramily members that she knows. And we just all wanted to like go as soon as possible. So we got it for June 16th, and of course, they've had a record high snow year in the Cascades, and so now this turns out to be not the best start date, but hey.
That's okay. I'm sure you'll get through it.
We'll get through it. It'll be fine.
So if you guys don't know, unlike the AT, if you want to hike the PCT, you need a permit, which I've heard the permit process can be a bit of a nightmare.
Having gone through it twice now, it is not fun.
And when does that start? Like, when did you have to get your permit?
So usually they do it twice. Once in November, and again, it's on a very specific date, so you gotta remember it's usually like somewhere in mid-November. They give out the first, for northbounders, they let 50 people start per day during thru-hiker season, so there's like a window from March something to like May something, basically. That's for northbounders. And for southbounders, they only let 15 people start per day, and that's the window from June 15th to sometime in August, starting at the Canadian border. And so they issue, at least for northbounders, they issue the first like 35 permits on per day on November whatever, and then the next permit application date is usually mid-January, and then they issue like the final 15 permits. And for southbounders, I guess it's like 10 and 5. I don't know how they really break that up. But this time around, because of COVID, back in November, the PCTA had announced that we still don't know if people should be through hiking, so we're not going to do the permit date yet. We're going to wait until January and see how it goes. And even though nothing really improved by January, in fact, things were worse, they kind of were like, well, it's not actually up to us. It's up to the Forest Service, so we're giving permits because they say it's okay. So they did the permits, and that was the reason, because things still weren't really improving. We were feeling weird about potentially doing a northbound. Like, we wanted to have time to get vaccinated and everything else. And we thought also, like, coming into summer, cases would be down. So that's why we chose southbound ultimately and got permits for southbound.
Yeah, that makes sense. And the PCTA is the PCT Association, if you guys are unfamiliar with them.
Yeah.
What part of the PCT are you most excited for?
Well, Washington, really. I mean, it's supposed to be so gorgeous. I'm so excited to see big mountains and
Heck yeah.
Yeah, and just the Pacific Northwest in general seems amazing. I've been
Magical.
to Seattle before and hiked a little in the foothills of the Cascades, and that alone was like mind-boggling. So I'm sure the actual Cascades are going to be just awesome. So yeah, that part, even though I'm also scared for that part because of the snow and it's going to be such a challenge, and it's a hard section of trail to start on, so like you need to get your trail legs quick.
Yeah, especially with all that snow.
Yeah, but I'm also really excited for, I mean, really all of it. Northern California seems amazing, the Sierra, obviously, and then even the desert, like I think the desert looks so cool. I'm super scared for all the sun exposure because I'm way too pale to be having any business being in the sun at
She's
all.
literally like allergic to the sun.
I know. I burn like instantly. I have a whole get up.
Meanwhile, I'm like a sun worshiper.
Ugh. So, but I think the desert will be really cool. I also am really interested in like plants and plant species, and I know the desert's kind of like a cool area to nerd out on that, so I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed I won't be on the PCT to nerd out about plants with you.
It's kind of all we've been doing on this trip.
It's all we really do.
Yeah.
So we met on like an ecological study abroad together. So it's like all we did is like nerded out on nature during the study abroad where we like lived in tents at a rainforest. So
Yeah.
it's kind of my thing.
Yeah.
Let's see. If people want to follow along with your PCT through hike, how can they do that?
Okay, so I'll be posting photos on Instagram, and my Instagram is at Spaced Outside, so it's just spelt like it sounds, all one word, Spaced Outside.
Because she's always spaced out outside.
I thought it was clever. I also have a second Instagram because I'm like not just plants, but a mushroom nerd in particular. I have an Instagram called Microgasm, also spelled just like it sounds, Microgasm, all one word. And that's specifically pictures of fungi and like cool nature stuff that'll be along the trail. I'm unfortunately probably not going to see that much in the way of fungi because we're not going northbound. When you're going northbound, you get all the mushroom season in Washington State, but going southbound, we'll probably miss out on that, and then the rest of the trail is just too dry for mushrooms.
Well, you'll just have to do it again northbound with me.
So I've got those two, and then I'm also going to be, what is it called? A trail correspondent for the Trek. They have a podcast called Trail Correspondents, and it's going to be season 3 that's coming out, and I'm one of the southbound correspondents. So if you want to hear me talk about what's going on out there, you can listen to season 3.
And I'll try to put some links down in the notes to make it easier for you guys to follow her.
Thank you. That'd be great.
Awesome. Well, is there anything else you want to share about either the AT or your upcoming PCT hike before we say goodbye?
I guess I just want to say that the AT was like the greatest thing I've ever done, but it also ruined me as a human because all I want to do now is hike long trails.
Yeah,
and
same. Yeah,
here we
same.
are. This is what'll happen. Watch out.
Yeah, be careful. They say through hiking ruins your life. And they say that for
in the
a
best
reason.
way,
In
but
the
it
best
does.
Well, thanks for coming on today.
Sure.
I really appreciate it. Guys, don't forget to give her a follow on Instagram. Check out the Trek correspondence this year. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more AT, hiking, and backpacking content. See y'all later.
Bye.